Hey everybody, welcome back. Pro Carry Trucker. Pretty long, uneventful day. It was a pain in the, well, I can't say uneventful. It was a pain in the rump. Got in to load a trailer today. Had troubles from the get-go. QR code on the trailer wouldn't scan for the scanner, so it was reading that I had the wrong trailer, so it wouldn't let me load the trailer. Had to get that overridden. Our load tubes on our plastic trailers, we got two load tubes. One's longer than the other one. That way it throws the product, the longer one throws the product to the front of the trailer, front load tube. Got a shorter one that drops it to the back, rear load tube. Well, they're generally, if you're at the back of the, if you're at the back looking at the back of the trailer, it's usually left one. Oh, how is it usually? Usually the left one is the front load tube and the right one is the rear load tube. They weren't marked, so I hooked up to what's normally the front load tube and started loading. Of course, it was vice versa. So I was loading the back end, had to stop, switch. Hot hose was a pain in the butt to work with. It was cranked, it was in a bad spot, couldn't get it hooked. Cleaned out a compartment in the rail car, usually 48 to 50,000 in a rail car, or in one compartment. In the middle two, the two end ones can have 50, a little over 50,000 in them. They're a little bit bigger compartments on the ends. But ended up cleaning out the compartment. Man, this just doesn't seem like enough, so I went ahead and weighed it. Of course, I only had 42,980 on, so I had to have at least 46, so I had to go put more on. Ended up with 48,100. Had to go back, open up the other compartment, which was the last compartment had any product in it, and pull product out of it in about 5 minutes. So got about 6,000 pounds out of it. Not quite 6, more like 5,500 out of it. So it was just a hectic day. And then I was supposed to deliver it, go back, load another one, and deliver to Riverside, Missouri, with another suburb of Kansas City, but that load canceled. So I got done. I took the trailer to the tank wash, picked up my trailer for tomorrow, and came to the motel. I am done for the day. I'll go load one in the morning. I'll go in, load it, drop it at the terminal, go home for the weekend, back here Monday. So got done a little bit earlier today. Actually got here before dark. I went down, ate dinner, drank a beer, chit-chatted a little bit, came up, took my contacts out, fiddle farted around. Now I'm doing the video, and it's still daylight out. So, of course, I got the shades down, but I want to get a little time. I want to get another history video knocked out. I am so far behind on these. I want to get these out once a week, but a lot of videos I do, I just throw out there. My history videos, I do some research on them. Find some other paper here. I print out material, then I go through that. I copy material into a notebook, which is helping me out too. Shoot, I'm learning stuff that I either I don't remember learning or I didn't even remember in school. But we're on the Intolerable Acts. We're on the third Intolerable Act, which is the Massachusetts Goverment Act. We'll go back to the first one, which was the Boston Port Act, which they enacted due to the Tea Act, the Boston Tea Party. They basically said there's not going to be any ships loaded or unloaded in Boston because of insurrections and all that good stuff. And then they came up with the Administration of Justice Act, which they enacted in reaction again to the Boston Tea Party, and it authorized Britain to take crimes that were done in Boston and move them to another area to be tried, or even back to England for trial. It didn't go over very well. And now we're on the Massachusetts Government Act. I forgot I didn't get all my information brought with me. I was going to I got some of the stuff wrote down, then I got the rest of my printout here. I was going to finish going through and copying it over and stuff, but since I didn't, I'll just go through what I got and then just read off the printout. But the basis of the Massachusetts Government Act is it gives England more authority to govern the people in Massachusetts, which again is not going to go over very well. But Massachusetts Government Act, an act for the better regulating the government of the province of Massachusetts Bay in New England. Let's see if I can read my writing. Whereas the method of electing such counselors and assistants to be vested with the several powers, authorities, and privileges therein mentioned, in which the appointment of the respective governors had been vested in the general courts or assemblies of the said colonies. I wrote it's colonies, comma, hash, comma. I don't know if I copied that down wrong or what. But said colony, by repeated experience, been found to be extremely ill adapted to the plan of government established in the province of Massachusetts Bay, and hath for some time past been such as had the most manifest tendency to obstruct and in great measure defeat the execution of the I know I was tired when I wrote this down, but I must have really been tired. I got LAWG. Weaken the attachment of His Majesty's well-disposed subjects in the said province to His Majesty's government, and to encourage ill-disposed among them to proceed even to acts of direct resistance. I wonder if they're not going to come to that here. Government is kind of forcing us to direct acts of resistance in defiance of His Majesty's authority. And it hath accordingly happened that an open resistance to the execution of the laws hath actually taken place in the town of Boston and the neighborhood thereof within the said province, Massachusetts. And whereas it is under these circumstances become absolutely necessary that the said method of annually electing the counselors or assistants of the said province should no longer be suffered to continue, but that the appointment of the said counselors or assistants should be henceforth be put upon the like footing as is established in such other of His Majesty's colonies or plantations in America, the governors whereof are appointed by His Majesty's commission under the Great Seal of Great Britain. Be it therefore enacted that from and after August 1st, 1774, so much of the Charter of 1691, which relates to the time and manner of electing the assistants or counselors for the said province, be revoked, and that the officers of all counselors and assistants elected and appointed in pursuance thereof shall from thenceforth cease and determine, and that from and after the said August 1st, 1774, the counselor or court of assistants of the said province for the, let's see, court of assistants of counselors of said province be revoked, and that the officers of all counselors and assistants elected and appointed in pursuance thereof shall from thenceforth cease and determine, and that from and after the said August 1st, 1774, the council or court of assistants of said province for the time being shall be composed of such of the inhabitants of proprietors of lands within the same as shall be thereunto nominated and appointed by his majesty. So basically the King of England, I believe it was a king back then, don't believe they had a queen then, I think it was King of England back then, but the leader of England is going to appoint the leaders of Boston, of Massachusetts, instead of them being elected, provided that the number of the said assistants or counselors shall not at any time exceed 36, nor be less than 12. Who sees the government maybe trying to do that today with what's going on, saying how some states were opening up regardless? Who thinks it could happen today that the government say, well, they're not fit to rule, they can't follow orders, they can't do this, can't do that, so we're going to appoint the leaders? I don't think it's going to go over here. They try that today. I think it's going to go over about as well as it did back during the revolutionary times. Second part, and it is hereby further enacted that the said assistants or counselors so to be appointed as foresaid shall hold their offices respectively for and during the pleasure of his majesty. So there's no term limit. The leader of England, king or queen, appoints them and says when they're done. They're in office until whenever. And it be further enacted that from and after July 1st, got the hiccups. July 1st, 1774, it shall and may be lawful for his majesty's governor for the time being of the said province, or in his absence, for the lieutenant governor to nominate and appoint under the seal of the province from time to time, and also to remove without the consent of council all judges of the inferior courts of common pleas, commissioners of oyer and terminer, the attorney general, provost, marshals, justices of the peace, and other officers to the council or courts of justice. Really sounding like a monarchy. And it be further enacted that upon every vacancy of the office of Chief Justice and judges of the Superior Court for the said province from and after July 1st, 1774, the governor for the time being, or in his absence, the lieutenant governor, without the consent of the council, shall have full power and authority to nominate and appoint the persons to succeed to the said office, who shall hold the commission during the pleasure of his majesty. Again, leader of England determines how long they're going to serve. And whereas by several acts of the general court, the freeholders and inhabitants of the several townships, districts, and precincts qualified and therein expressed are authorized to assemble together annually or occasionally upon notice given in such manner as the said acts direct, for the choice of selectmen, constables, and other officers, and for the making and agreeing upon such necessary rules, orders, and bylaws for the directing, managing, and ordering. Ordering the prudential affairs of townships, districts, and precincts, and other purposes, whereas a great abuse has been made of the power of calling such meetings, and the inhabitants have, contrary to the design of the institution, been misled to treat upon matters for the most general concern, and to pass many dangerous and unwarrantable resolves for remedy, whereof be it enacted that from and after August 1st, 1774, no meeting shall be called by the select men or at the request of any number of freeholders of any township, district, or precinct without the leave of the governor, or in his absence of the lieutenant governor in writing, expressing the special business of the said meeting, except the annual meeting of the months of March or May for the choice of select men, constables, and other officers, or except for the choice of persons to fill up the offices aforesaid, on the death or removal of any of the persons first elected to such offices, and also except any meeting for the election of representative or representatives in the general court, and that no matter shall be treated of at such meeting. They're really cracking down. This Massachusetts Government Act basically takes all rights away from Massachusetts. They are being wholly ruled by Britain with an iron fist. Doesn't go over well at all. The next video will be on the Quartering Act of 1774, which that really don't go over good. We'll get into that. Has to do with housing soldiers in private homes, barns, stuff like that. But sorry, this wasn't the greatest history video. I didn't get my other printouts brought so I could copy the information down. I would think I was half asleep when I started writing it. My handwriting's not the best anyway. Put it this way with it. My handwriting's not the best anyway. But sitting in my recliner, probably half asleep, didn't have the best lighting. I should have been at the table writing this down where I could see what I was doing and be more awake, but get the gist of it. We're getting close. We're getting close to, well, we done seen the Boston Tea Party was a outright act of defiance, and it's going to, more and more is coming. It's coming more often. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you ain't done so already. We'll catch you on the next video. One sec, I got